The much-anticipated composition of the cabinet was released today. The NEMO conference room was packed to capacity as Prime Minister Dean Barrow made the announcement.
The Ministry of Finance will become the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. That ministry will, of course, be made up of the traditional Ministry of Finance portfolios, subject matters, but added to those will be the following subject areas coming from the previous Ministry of Economic Development: capital budget preparation and management, economic development planning, public sector investment program planning, development finance institutions and multilateral financing agencies, the Development Finance Corporation, the Social Investment Fund, and the Statistical Institute of Belize. I will, of course, retain that portfolio of finance and economic development, and I will be assisted by a Minister of State, and I should make clear here that the ministers of state that are being appointed will be given particular responsibilities for subject areas in the overall portfolio. I would be Minister of Finance and Economic Development, and assisting me with particular responsibility for the economic development aspect of the portfolio would be the Honorable Santiago Santino Castillo Jr. The Minister of Trade, Investment, Private Sector Development, and Consumer Protection is going to be the Honorable Erwin Rafael Contreras. The Minister of Natural Resources and Agriculture will be the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaspar Vega, and he will be assisted by the Honorable Ugo Pat as Minister of State with particular responsibility for agriculture. Minister of Forestry, Fisheries, Sustainable Development, and Indigenous Peoples will be Senator the Honorable Lisel Alamia. There is going to be a new Ministry of Energy, Science and Technology, and Public Utilities, and the Minister of Energy, Science and Technology and Public Utilities will be Senator the Honorable Joy Grant. The Attorney General and Minister of Foreign Affairs is the Honorable Wilfred Sedi Elrington. We have again combined police and defense in a Ministry of National Security. The new Minister of National Security is the Honorable John Saldivar, and he will be assisted by Minister of State Elvin Penner, who will have particular responsibility for immigration and border protection and the immigration. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Development remains the same, and the Minister of Housing and Urban Development remains the same, the Honorable Michael Finnegan. There is going to be now a new Ministry of Works and Transport. The Minister in the Ministry of Works, Transport and Ministry of Works and Transport will be the Honorable Rene Montero, and he will be assisted by a Minister of State who will have full responsibility, practically, the constitutional niceties apart, full on-the-ground responsibility for transport. And that Minister of State with responsibility for transport is the Honorable Edmond Castro. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Civil Aviation now becomes the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, and the Minister remains the same, the Honorable Manuel Heredia. The Ministry of Health remains the same, and the Minister remains the same, the Honorable Pablo Marin. The new Minister of Labour, Local Government, Rural Development and NEMO, Senator the Honorable Godwin Hulse. The new Minister of the Public Service, Elections and Boundaries, Senator the Honorable Charles Gibson. The new Minister of Human Development, Social Transformation and Poverty Alleviation is the Honorable Boots Poor People Governor Martinez. He will be assisted in that ministry by the Honorable Mark King, who will have particular responsibility for the Conscious Youth Development Program and the Gang Truce Program. The Minister of Education, Youth and Sports is, of course, the Honorable Patrick Faber. He will be assisted by a Minister of State with responsibility for both youth and sports, the Honorable Herman Longsworth.
Prime Minister Barrow said he gave much thought to the process, but is confident that the blend of elected representatives and expertise brought through the Senate will produce a whole that will work wholeheartedly for Belize.
The fact of the talent that we've been able to attract from outside the ranks of our elected members, combined, of course, with the infusion of new blood that we got from the four new persons elected. I really think that while, as I said, no doubt party supporters, or there are some party supporters that will grumble, the independent people, the middle of the road people, the people who simply want to see the best done for this country will applaud the effort to reach out in a non-traditional way to get people like Godwin Hulse and Lisella Lamia and Joy Grant and Charles Gibson.
For the new Minister of Labour, Local Government, Rural Development and NEMO, Senator Godwin Hulse, this is an opportunity to continue contributing to the positive development of the country.
I had no choice, really. The Prime Minister asked me. It took me totally by surprise. I hadn't expected it at all. Had to catch my breath, told him I'd get back to him, speak with my family and those persons I consider pretty close to me and who have always leaned on advice. And they said, how could you say no? Here you are always talking about bringing people from outside who have capacity to run so the elected officials could get on with their representative, with their divisions. And the Prime Minister asks you and he will say no. So I had a very little choice in this matter, in that sense. But no, seriously, apart from that, I think that there's a certain contribution we can bring, and I have always tried to do that by my example. The Senate was a good example. We lifted it to a point where people knew of the Senate. Before that, it was an institution nobody heard of. I hope to do the same thing in ministries, and you've heard the Prime Minister say over and over, we're looking at good, clean government, which is my mantra. Taxpayers' money is sacred, spend it properly, do it transparent, look at all these reports, get all these things there, and as part of a cabinet, help to make the wider decisions to lift the nation.
Senator Lisella Lamia, who is the new Minister of Forestry, Fisheries, Sustainable Development and Indigenous People, told Love News this is a challenge she was quick to respond to.
I was stunned and I immediately said yes. I didn't even hesitate.
At the time, were you aware of what it was that you would be responsible for?
He just mentioned that it would be a ministry that would have environment at its core.
How do you see yourself fitting in?
Oh, I think I am going to jump into this game running. I think I know. I've been doing this work for 17 years. I know what needs to be done. I know that a lot of the preparation work has already been done, and it's a matter of just moving it through the political system. And I'm excited. I think that my NGO partners will be excited along with me when they see that we're delivering.
Now, we all know that sometimes politicians see what needs to be done, but lack the political will to get it done. How do you propose to ensure that what you know is the best way forward will be accepted by your colleagues in cabinet?
Well, it would not be easy. I was joking with one of my colleagues that, by the time we're finished with this term, they will all be conservationists. Because I'm going to work hard to convince them that we can have development in a sustainable manner. That we can, we're such a rich country and such a beautiful country, but we do need to find a balance. And I think that every Belizean loves their country and wants what's best for it. But it's just matter of how you present it, how you advocate for it. So I see the possibilities.
The Prime Minister said the composition of the new cabinet has the complete support of his colleagues. Reporting for Love News, Ava Diaz Sosa.